I thank you for coming back to the table. We're having a really candid conversation with young men who were taunted and bullied for being different, and now they are making a difference on the world stage. I'm here with Tony Weaver Jr., and he's an award-winning author and a motivational speaker. Recently released a book called Weirdo, a middle school aged graphic novel that stems from his own experiences with bullying. Welcome to the show, Tony Weaver Jr.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to see your outfit today. You look like an anime protagonist, which is the highest compliment, I must say.
Anime protagonist is not at all what I was expecting, but I thank you. Thank you. I'm going to have to look more at that if. I want to talk about you and all of your glory, because I love how you came in your individual, unique, and beautiful self. But that is also what has caused some people to tease you when you were a little guy, right?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So the thing about being weird or being unique is that the things that bring you joy look a little different depending on how other people look at you. So when you're 4 years old and you can name all 151 of the original Pokemon, it's like, oh, that's cute. Look at him. It's Pokemon. It's nice.
Yeah.
When you're 14 and you can name all 151 of the original Pokemon, and I can tell you where they live and what their habits are and things like that, people kind of go, oh, that's it's a little weird.
It just makes you a loyalist, right? But there are other things that also made people go, what was it about you that makes you brilliant, but made people just not understand? And sometimes they were mean and sometimes they just didn't get it.
When I was younger, I was into really nerdy things. So comic books, video games, anime.
I'm sorry, can we just let the record reflect? Those are all very cool things.
So they're very cool today. But when I was in school...
but 20, okay, I won't tell your age, but I feel like, I think it's important that we just watch the branding of it, right?
Yeah.
Because some might say it's nerdy, but others really believe that's cool. But those who did not were the ones who were coming for you, right?
Well, today is an amazing time to be a nerd. You have creators like RDC World, like doing all these cool things on the internet. You have black musicians that love anime, making songs about Dragon Ball Z. These things are great. But when you're younger, and you don't see people that look like you that are into these hobbies can be cool for other people. But I was in academic environments where I was told, black people don't do that. That's white people stuff. Black people do not do that. That is not something that black kids do. And when someone puts you in a box like that, you start to wonder, well, why don't I fit in the box? What's wrong?
What was your response? Were the adults saying that? Kids? Everybody?
It was something that I was experiencing from my peers. So the kids in my classes would say that, like, I was into white people stuff, that the things that I was into weren't things that black kids were allowed to be into. And while that was making me struggle with my relationships with my peers, I was in environments where my teachers would accuse me of plagiarism because I didn't feel like
Because you were such a good writer, there's no way you could have actually written it yourself.
Yeah. They didn't think that it was possible for me to create the things that I was making. So as a young person, I was in this weird in-between of, I can't make friends, and my teachers don't believe that it's possible for me to do the stuff that I do. The common denominator amongst all these negative emotions is me. The problem must be me. So obviously, there's something that I'm doing wrong. There's something that I need to fix.
And that led you to, first of all, let me just say, the mother in me, that hurts. It hurts, but your ability to articulate it so well and with such clarity, I hope connects with people who understand what happens when we go after people that we don't understand. So I thank you for your candor there. This became so hard for you, though, that you ultimately were so depressed you wanted to take your own life?
100%. When I was younger, I dealt with very strong difficulties in my mental health, and it helped me develop this kind of negative narrative in my head. So I would tell myself, Tony, if you've been to 4 schools and you've had trouble making friends at all of those schools,
you thought it was your fault.
Maybe
it's me. Yeah.
If your teacher has 80 kids that she has to teach a day and you're the only one that she has to worry about cheating on something, maybe the issue is you. And
that's how they put it? They really thought you were the one who was cheating because you were the one who was doing so well.
100%.
It couldn't just be that you were just a brilliant black boy.
It's something that kids still deal with today. Obviously, bullying is a huge problem. But what I say is, even the most excellent things can go unnoticed if we don't recognize the source that they come from. There's this idea that we have about what constitutes genius, what constitutes excellence, and very rarely does that idea include a nerdy kid from Atlanta with Yu-Gi-Oh cards in his hand. So for me, I told myself that I didn't belong and that a lot of the problems that I was dealing with wouldn't be here if I wasn't here.
But eventually you also told your parents who didn't know because they were just trying to make sure all of these gifts were nurtured, they put you in therapy, right?
100%. My parents heard about what was going on with me and immediately sought to find support for me, which is a huge thing because in the Black community, we don't talk about mental health as much as we're supposed to. And for my parents, it wasn't something that they had experience with, but they wanted me to be okay. They wanted me to love myself, and they were dedicated to making sure that I got the tools in order to help me do that.
You love yourself now, Tony Weaver Jr.?
Oh, 100%.
And that's why you wrote Weirdo.
Yes.
Tell me more about the book Weirdo.
So I call Weirdo the nerdy kid's instruction manual for self-love and self-confidence.
Oh my gosh, one more time. The nerdy kid, because I'm listening because it's for me too. Go ahead.
It's the nerdy kid's instruction manual for self-love and self-confidence.
Beautiful.
When I was younger, something that I would hear is, you need to love yourself. You need to love yourself. And kids today are probably told the same thing. You need to love yourself. But we never tell them how to do that. We just say, hey, love yourself.
Go love yourself and
just
figure it out.
And then just leave them at the wayside. Especially when you're an adolescent, you're like, I don't know who I am yet. I don't have an understanding. And honestly, who I am today might be different than who I am next week or next month or next year. We don't give kids the habits required to establish a healthy baseline for self-love as they grow and evolve. And that's what Weirdo is intended to do.
Yeah. And you get to talk about it on platforms and stages all over.
100%. Since Weirdo released in September of 2024, I have visited over 40 schools across the country, getting the opportunity to be on the ground with students, helping them develop that self-love, helping them embrace all of the things that make them different.
Yeah.
When I was younger and I was struggling to love myself, stories were really the thing that helped save me. The anime that I got to give you more recommendations for, those were the things that helped me develop a sense of self-love.
And you have done it so well. I'm so inspired by you, and I'm so moved by your story. I thank you so much for sharing it here. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. Listen, folks, don't go anywhere. Kofi B is going to gift us with a special performance when we return. Just another reminder of why you have to watch who you talk to and how you talk to them, because they're going to grow up to be the Tony Weavers, the Kofi Bs. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe, and go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.